All right, so today let's make a sort of Space Invaders style game with a little ship at the bottom, and it's going to shoot at some enemies. And we're going to try to make a quick project, not have this one take forever to make. So let's jump into it. I'm going to click New Project, and I'm going to name this game Pew Pew, because that's what the ship goes, right? Pew Pew Pew. All right, we'll click Create. We'll leave all the settings the same for now. First thing we want to do is get our player controller set up, right? We want to put a player image on the screen, push some buttons, and have it start moving. So to do that, I'm going to double click here, scroll down to Sprite. All right, and need to give this a name. I'm going to call it Player. Okay, I click to set it down. And now I need to draw the art for my player. So for mine, let's see, maybe I'll make this character purple, purple triangle. So I'm gonna use the line tool here to just kind of quickly make a triangle. And you can make your character whatever you want. We can always go back later and clean it up, but I'm just gonna keep it simple. You might want to use more detailed art so it looks like something, but for us, a triangle gets the point across. Okay, so here's our player. And so far it's not going to do anything because it just exists. It's just on the screen as an image. We need to give it some behavior so the computer knows what to do with it. So I'll click on this, my triangle, my player, and then over here in the properties, we have a link where we can add the behaviors to it. And behaviors are like these built-in code that let us do some simple things really easily. Okay, and we're gonna want down here under movements, this one called 8 direction. Okay, and the way 8 direction works is it allows you can use the arrow keys and the object will move in all around just pushing the arrow keys. But we don't want it to rotate like that. And I was thinking it should just move along the bottom like this without the rotation. So let's tweak this to make it work how we want. All right, so I'm gonna click on this, our player, and then go over here to the properties, and here we can see the 8 direction that we just added, and here's some numbers that we can change, or some options. So how about this one, directions, 8 directions. That's, up, down, left, right, and diagonals. So let's restrict that to left and right. So we're only gonna go left and right, like we said. And this one says set angles, how to set the object's angle while moving. Okay, smooth is how it's rotating. We can also have it rotate at a set angle of degrees, but we can also say no rotating, just stay the same. And sure enough, now left and right, make it move left and right, up and down on the arrow keys doesn't do anything. Perfect. Okay, what now? Next, let's make a little blast that you can shoot out. Some type of projectile. Yours doesn't have to be a laser. You could make it a heart or a fork or I don't know, whatever you want to put. A cat maybe, some type of bug. Shoot out bees. Ooh, that'd be cool. Shoot bees. I'm gonna shoot bees. I'll do that for mine. Okay, and I'm gonna call this one projectile, which is kind of a nerdy word, but that's what it is. It's a projectile because maybe it'll change. But for now, we'll just call it projectile. New sprite. Okay, I'll click, and I'm gonna go with my idea to make it a bee. But you could make yours look however you want. It's up to you. Does that look like a bee? Close enough. Okay, here's my bumblebee. And we're gonna shoot these out. Okay, so to make it shoot out, what do we want to do? Let's click on this and let's edit it real quick. Actually, we're gonna want to rotate this. I don't want it pointed up. I think I want it pointed to the right, because by default the orientation is to the right, so that this is 0 degrees. Is there the move? I can move it right here. Okay, just center that a little bit. And while I'm here, I might as well click on this this thing. We can says edit the collision polygon, and what that is where's the border of it? Where does the computer consider where it starts and where it stops? And we're gonna close this a little bit just so you have to be accurate. If it hits this blank space, it won't count. Okay, so here's our B, and it's facing to the right. So I'm going to click on it and then change this now to 270. It's a little confusing because basically this is how it has to be set up at the beginning, and then we're rotating it now because I want it to go up when it moves. Okay. But sometimes this is how game design works, where you put something in and you have to change these numbers in a certain way, and you experiment, and maybe you get it right, maybe you get it wrong, but then you try it again and you keep tweaking it until you find the one you want. So in the interest of time, I'm just going to change this straight to 270, but know that this is something that I had to kind of figure out through trial and error. Okay, so now with the B selected, my projectile, I'm going to go to behaviors, and we're going to add a new behavior for this one. And we want this one over here, the bullet. Move an object ahead at its current angle, typically used for bullets and projectiles. Okay, we'll click add to add that, and then close. And now let's test to make sure it goes in the right direction. Pew! There it goes. All right, looking good. So the last thing that we're going to do is make it so you can push a button to shoot the bee out. All right, so first we'll double click here, and we're going to scroll down to input. I'm going to click on keyboard and name it keys. This will let us use button presses besides the arrow keys to do different things in our game. So I'll click insert, and now we're going to want to make an event. And an event is for a condition where, like, I want to check if the player pushes the spacebar, and if they push the spacebar, then make a new bee and have the bee fly off. Okay, so I'm gonna click add event for the keyboard keys, click next, and this one's highlighted yellow. That looks like it's it, on key pressed, triggered when the keyboard key is pressed. That's what we want. Which key? I'm gonna click here to choose, and I'm gonna press the spacebar. If you want up, for example, you can press the up arrow on your keyboard, but I'm gonna use space. Click OK, and then done. All right, and then over here, we're going to add an action, and this is when we're going to make the bee show up. But we want it to show up where the player is, so we're going to select the player, click next, and now I'm going to type in spawn another object. Click done. Okay, and then which object are we going to spawn? Spawn is like the word create. I want to make a new projectile, and click OK, and then done. And now let's try it out. So I push space, and there it goes. It's not moving the direction I want it to. Click on the B. Let's try unchecking this set angle. Automatically set the object's angle to the angle of motion. Maybe we don't want that. All right, let's try it again. Okay, we're getting closer, but now we're not facing the right direction. So do I have to rotate this? And this is game design. We have to sometimes trial and error. Okay, how about I rotate this up here? Does that work? Facing the right direction, but not going the right way. So let's try turning this. What a mess this became, I'm sorry. Where's the angle? Let's try 270 again. Does this work? Yes, there we go. Somehow this works. All right. So it's 270 for the angle. And the art should be facing up. And here it should be facing to the left. And set angle is unchecked. Somehow that works. Okay, the last thing let's do is, I know that's the last thing, but notice that it doesn't shoot out from the tip, it only shoots out from the middle of it. So let's move that up a little bit so it looks better. It's worth it. Okay, to do that, I'm going to click on our player and then scroll down here to, what do we want? I'm gonna double click here. Double click on it, and then we're gonna go to image points. And here we can click on that, double or right click, 2-finger click, and we'll do add new image point. And wherever I click is where we're gonna set this one. And what this is just saying, where is the point that we want to draw attention to, and that's right here. And take note that this is image point number 1. Right, we'll close this. And now when we go to our event sheet, we skipped over this before, but there's a place where we can specify which image point we're gonna spawn the projectile at. So I'm gonna change this from 0 to 1. Okay, and this is setting it for the player, connecting it with the player's image point in our triangle. All right, so now when we press play, we can move, and it looks way better as we shoot at our bees. That's it for the first video. Next one, we will make a target for you to shoot.